Claire Bahn, the Gluten-free Avenger, and on today's episode I am going to be doing a Mexican chicken vegetable soup. So let's get started. Okay, here's what you're going to need. What makes this Mexican essentially is this, a poblano pepper. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get this skin off. How you're going to do that is I have a baking sheet here covered in foil, just because it makes it a little easier to clean up. Nothing other than that. I'm going to stick this poblano pepper on that, and then I'm going to stick it in the broiler on high, a high broiler. You're going to stick it in there for 3 minutes, then you're going to turn it, and then another 3 minutes, and then check it, okay? I'm going over here to the oven, and I'll stick it in. And there we go. And then I'm just going to set my little timer for 3 minutes. The next thing we need to do is we need to get started on our chicken. The chicken is the next bit that takes a little bit of time. So, I've got another pan here covered in foil. Now, these are some big pieces of chicken breast. So what I'm going to want to do is get them into a little more uniform pieces. So, just kind of slice them down. Kind of like that. So you kind of get them into strips. Get them as uniform as you can. And then you're going to lay them on your sheet here. Okay, so let me go wash my hands really quick. So I'm going to make sure that this goes away. And then I get another cutting board for the remaining stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let me come over here and get a couple things. I am in fact in a working kitchen, so. Alright, so I'm going to use olive oil spray, just to spray a little bit on here. And you can flip them really quick. Just so that they won't stick. Get a little bit of that olive oil flavor, which is nice. Okay. Then we're going to salt and pepper them. If you want them to be salt and peppered on both sides, you're more than welcome to do it that way. I usually find that one side does plenty. Okay, so this is ready to go when the poblanos are ready to come out. So I'm just going to set these aside. So I'm back. And my poblanos are ready, and the entire room smells like a giant roasted poblano. I'm gonna get them out, or it out. And as you can see, the skin is nice and charred. I'm gonna change my oven to 325. And I'm gonna add this chicken that's been waiting to go in the oven. And it's going to go in to a 325 oven for about 15 minutes. Gonna grab my tongs. Okay, so basically what you want to do, the term is called sweating the chili. Basically you just want the skin off. So while it's really hot, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it in this gonna let it sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then all the skin's gonna come right off. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside, and while the chicken is finishing up, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up chopping up all of these vegetables. I've already washed them. Basically, it's really obviously up to you what you want to use. I love corn, celery, carrots, peel the carrots. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes actually, but in this soup it's really good. So, and zucchini. Zucchini is like the one thing in the soup that actually is my favorite thing. So just go ahead, start chopping, and I'll be right back. Now I am back over here by the stove, and I just added 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have a soup pot here on medium heat. Okay, so I'm going to add another 2 tablespoons of olive oil to my pot. Let that get nice and warm. So if you can hear that, the butter and oil is ready because it's sizzling a little bit. All right, so what we're gonna do is I actually, for expedience here, I put the onion, carrot, and the garlic all in this one pot, or in this one bowl. So I'm just gonna add all of that in to my hot oil and butter. Okay, and basically I'm just going to let it cook down, stirring it occasionally. Let it cook down for about 10 to 12 minutes. Basically, you're going to see that the onions get much more transparent, and the edges should turn like lightly brown. So I'm going to be here for another 10 to 12 minutes. All of the onions, carrots, and garlic has been simmering here for about 10 to 12 minutes. This is what it should look like. And we're going to add the chopped poblanos and the rest of the vegetables. I like a lot of veggies, so I don't skip. So we're going to add our celery. We're going to add our corn. So this corn, because corn is not in season right now, I just used frozen corn and rinsed it, thawed it, rinsed it, and that is what I did. So, when we're in full season in the middle of summer, I would definitely never use frozen corn. I would always use the real deal. Okay, so then we have our zucchini here. So the reason why we kind of saute it all, one of my zucchini shut off, and cook it down like this is because part of the beauty of the soup is the fact that all of the vegetables really stay whole. They don't get mushy, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about this soup. So we're just gonna let this cook down. If you can see the pot, it's really high and full. We're just gonna let this cook down for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm gonna let, oh, actually, you know what? Salt and pepper, we gotta do that. Okay, so just put some salt and pepper on here. Forgot to mention that with the last bit with the onions, carrots, and garlic. A little bit of salt and pepper for that too. Just a little bit of salt and pepper on this. And now I will be here for about 3 to 4 minutes, just gently stirring this, mixing it together, letting all of these wonderful vegetables sweat down and meld their flavors. So now everything's kind of sweat down and melded together. It's been probably about 5 minutes at this point, and everything is looking really great. We got a little bit of juice at the bottom, so you know everything's kind of working together, which is great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add our chicken stock. I don't have any fresh chicken stock, so if you have fresh chicken stock, please use that. It's probably so much better than this one. But so I'm going to start with 3 cups. So this is 2 cups here. And then we'll go and add, I'm going to add the 3 cups. The problem is that I really did use a lot of vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and put this whole thing, this is 32 ounces, so we're just going to do the whole 4 cups. Because I went a little crazy on the veggies. I love veggies. So if you're like me, just add a little more chicken stock and it'll be just fine. Okay, so now what we're gonna do with this, I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit. I'm gonna put it on a medium-high heat, stir it together, and we are going to get it to a boil. So, and then I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit, and it's gonna simmer for another 5 minutes. So, we'll get started on that. After we cut, I realized that because I added so many vegetables, I needed to add a lot more stock. So I doubled the stock. So instead of the 4 cups, I went with 8. Yeah, I added a lot of veggies. I guess you can tell my weakness. Anyway, so it's cooking down and it looks amazing. Yeah, before it was kind of like a vegetable stew almost. That's how many vegetables there are. So it's been, I let it simmer here for about 10 minutes. So now everything's kind of really getting together and it's looking amazing. Okay, so remember that chicken that I roasted earlier? Well, I took it, I shredded it. All you do, I do it with my hands because you can just really just feel how it shreds so easy. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're gonna add that into our soup. Do it real gently. I'm gonna do it against the side of the pot here so it doesn't splash on me, because that would be a bad thing. Okay, so now we're gonna add all that chicken. Then we're just gonna stir it in here, all the chicken. So basically the chicken was already cooked, so we don't need to cook it anymore. So I'm just gonna let it heat through about a minute, and my soup is ready to be served. So I'm just gonna kind of let it sit here, stir it a little bit, and it looks amazing. Okay, so for garnish on this, I'm just gonna I have my soup bowl. I use queso fresco. I love queso fresco. Such an amazing cheese. And in New York, it was kind of hard to find, and people used to say, hey, you could just use feta. It's not the same type of cheese. You can use feta. It's just, if you can find queso fresco, go with queso fresco. It's just an amazing cheese. So I like to garnish with queso fresco and a little bit of cilantro. So I'm gonna go ahead and garnish now. And as you can see, the soup is super chunky and amazing. Make sure you get all the yummy goodness in there. Get some of that broth. Okay, so then I'm gonna have a bite and I'll tell you how it is. Oh, you know what, let me turn this off. I'm gonna turn that off because it's ready to go. So good. This soup is just so amazing. The first time I ever had it, a soup like it was in Cabo San Lucas, one of my favorite places, and there was a restaurant that had it, and I basically, as soon as I came home from that vacation, I worked so diligently to try to figure out how to replicate it, and this is that soup. It's such an amazing soup. I hope you like it just as much as I do. So let me know in the comments what you think. And you know what? The thing about soup, it can be imperfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. All of the measurements don't have to be perfect. Just go with what you feel. You know what, you've eaten soup. You know how it should look. If it needs more chicken stock, use more chicken stock. If you like more vegetables, use more vegetables. If you don't like as many, use a little bit less and a little less chicken stock. Make it your own. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.